Hello, happy Monday, everybody. How is everybody doing? I know it's been a minute since I've been on. Been kind of a crazy few weeks here. It feels like weeks. I think I made a video maybe a week and a half ago. But anyway, wanted to come on and do some updates, show some works in progress, etc., etc. That is my washing machine. Sounds like it's a plane trying to take off. Anyway, let me just quickly go around and show you. There's little Miss Ivy Jane. She will be going home very, very soon. She'll be heading out next week. I'm going to miss this beautiful baby girl. But so stay tuned for a box packing of this little one. And then let's just quickly go around. And I'm going to tell y'all the update on the raccoons. There's the queen. Okay, so I thought there were 3 raccoons. That's what I had seen. Well, I had originally only seen one, and it was quite large, you know, the one that sauntered along my deck. And then what happened was when the landlord set up the trap, that first night, there were 2 raccoons, one on the top and one on the side, and then the other one. I think I shared that with y'all. And it was just very easy. The mechanism that closed the door was very easy to set off. So, because he had come back later that day, excuse me, or that first morning after the night he had set it up the first time. And when he threw in another marshmallow, that just going across the little pad that activated the door made the door shut. So he said we would try it, and if it didn't work, he would, figure something else out. So for a couple nights we did that, nothing. So he said, well, let me come up with another plan, and I'll get back to you. And by then I had read some of your comments about the babies, so I did a lot of reading about raccoons. I'm a research freak and just trying to figure out, how old the babies would be and could they, live on their own kind of thing. And so, anyway, what happened was he came back and he said that he had somehow fixed it so the door was not quite so sensitive, and he put marshmallows in. Well, the next morning, lo and behold, there were 2 raccoons in there. Now, I'm guessing they were her babies, but they're not tiny. They're probably the size of a house cat, so I don't know how quickly they grow, so I don't know. Based upon when she gave birth, they were either several months old or just over a year plus a few months. So, anyway, so they were taken to like a forested area, very beautiful. It's about 8 miles from here, has a pond. There's like an old barn there that's not utilized by anybody, so in the event they need to go in somewhere in inclement weather. So it's a very beautiful, lots of trees area. And so after they were released that morning, the trap was reset back up, and within an hour that mother walked in there and she was just laying. Now I will tell you, when the cage was picked up with the 2, they, made noises and they weren't happy. But, I have to back up. I have to tell y'all the funniest part of this whole story. So when they came to get the 2, I can't believe I forgot this part. It was last week now. They came to get the 2, and I heard them, they pull in my driveway, my landlords, and so I wanted to talk to them about something. But in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, you gotta let them know that the mom must be nearby watching, so be careful. So you have to understand, in my mind, I'm thinking Mama Raccoon's nearby. I have to preface this with that. So I open my door and I start talking to them, like, oh, good morning. And I reach behind me, I'm pulling the handle of the door to shut the door, but I'm looking forward, so my hand is behind me, and I felt something on my hand. But remember, I'm thinking Mama Raccoon in my head. Well, of course she wasn't that high, but it was like something scraping me. And so I jumped and looked. Now, my door was only open about an inch, but there down on my little mudroom floor was a bird. And so I'm like, oh no, now there's a bird in the house. So Of course, when I went to open the door, it flew. It like went in. I didn't know if it came down because the stairway down to the basement is right off the mudroom. I'm like, oh, please don't go downstairs. But it didn't. It had gone in the living room. So here, me and one of the landlords, because it's a married couple, she and I are trying to get the bird out. So I go open the front door, and the bird is now over by all my plants. So I'm like, well, we got to keep the back door shut because we don't want Mama Raccoon getting in the house. Wouldn't that be exciting? So now we're in there trying to get this bird. She gets a towel. The bird goes by the front door. I'm like, yes, it's going to go out. But it didn't. It just kind of sat behind the front door. So she did catch it in the towel and go set it outside. And we're just laughing hysterically. But in the meantime, her husband came in and said, there's a third raccoon. I'm like, yeah, I know. And he's like, no, there's a third one the size of these raccoons. I'm like, oh no, the other one was clearly bigger. So anyway, so they took the two and came back and put the trap out, and within an hour, and I was looking, that Mama Raccoon went in there and just laid there. And I called them. They came right back, took her to reunite her with the babies. She did not even stand up when they picked up the cage. She made no noise. It was like she knew that we would take her to her babies. And they brought the trap back, and then it ended up there were two more little ones which we caught. So all of her and her babies within 2 days were taken back to each other because we caught them, overnight. But talk about the ultimate sacrifice. Bless her. It's like she had to decide, do I go with those two or stay with these two? But maybe she thought, you know what, I've trained these two in this environment, so let me go wherever those two went and help them. Or maybe she knew we would bring them all to her. But of course, when the first two get up, the cage is open, they run off, I'm hearing Born Free in my head. And I'm thinking, yeah, they're like, woohoo, Mom's not here, we can play. But anyway, they've all been reunited. So no worries on that. We now don't have raccoons destroying our garden. And they are now living in a beautiful, beautiful forested area. So thank you, everybody, for your concerns. And just know they are all back together again. And we've not seen any other raccoons since then. But what I did question was, because where they were entering under the deck is actually right under my one bird feeder. I have a suet cake feeder that I showed y'all, and then that little like porch swing I put bird seed in. So I didn't know if that attracted them. And so upon research, yes, raccoons are attracted to bird seeds. So I have to make a decision. I guess I'm not going to be feeding birds for the time being. I mean, I could put it out further in the yard, but I still think it'll draw them. We just happen to live in an area right now that is very populated by deers, raccoons, possums. I haven't seen any chipmunks yet, but my bet is they're probably here. We have squirrels and stuff we didn't have in Texas. So we have a neighbor 2 doors down who has tons of bird feeders. But I don't know, he doesn't really have an area for them to hide in like we do under our deck. So, we have to be good stewards as renters and not cause problems for our landlords. Joy Bubble. So, for the time being, I will not be feeding the birds. I'll just have to be enjoying the birds. I can see my neighbor's yard. It's 2 doors down, but from, my porch, I can see the birds all over there eating. It's a little bit further than I would like, but I don't want to cause any problems to the structure of this house for our landlords. So, but that's the update on the raccoons. And what else has been going on? Just a bunch of life, ladies. In summer, I think we all just really get into the groove of being outside and enjoying the weather and such. And I know there's a lot less videos than there normally are. And then there's other people who like in the summer, Herlonda and Brenda who teach, who now can make more videos because they have more time, which I'm loving that. But there are a lot of people who I've noticed who I normally watch who just have been either not making videos or one here and there, and I kind of fall into that category, I guess, in the warmer weather. But I am going to try to get making more videos more regularly. It's just been a very crazy few weeks in my personal life. Nothing tragic, just very, very busy and some stuff going on that I don't really want to share on YouTube. So anyway, a couple things I want to show you though. I would like to show you my works in progress. So what I'm going to do is put you here, and then I'm going to move Miss Ivy Jane, because what I did was I set them up together in a, let me see if I can move Miss Ivy Jane into my chair. I have these two set up together in a pod. So these are the two lovelies I've been working on. Position them by picking them up, kind of budged them just a tad. They are both almost finished. They have not done their nails yet, so if you notice, their nails are still the color of the original kit. And I'll probably tweak a few details. They both have eyebrows and lower lashes, because I do paint my lower lashes on open-eyed babies. But their coloring is done. They have, their little, beauty marks. She's got a little birthmark there on her cheek. And she's got a little beauty mark there. And then on their limbs, I like to put little beauty marks on my babies. She's kind of the color of Ivy Jane. I think she's a little bit, pardon me, let me see. Let's put it side by side. She's a tad lighter than Ivy Jane. But I will tell you, ladies, I did try to have her go. I envisioned her a lighter baby. Not quite this light, but she would not let me take her darker. I tried a few times, but she was not going there. So I accepted her. And this is the color she wants to be. So there she is in all her glory. That is the Eleanor Ann kit by Laura Tuzio Ross, and this is Gabby Gale by Claire Taylor. And the interesting thing about this kit that I've never had on another kit, this kit actually has like kneecaps. And it's so funny. I mean, this I've shaded, which, she actually has, let me see if you can see, like kneecaps. And it's so funny, with human babies, I always joke, they don't feel like they have kneecaps. They're all just kind of chub. But it's kind of cool. I even came in here when I realized it, when I did my first layer on her. I came in here and felt like my bigger girls, Viognier and Genevieve, and they have just like, they're just round. Let's see. I mean, there's lines there to designate a kneecap, but it's just round. So I think it's kind of fun that the Gabby Gale actually has kneecaps. And this is the very first kit I've come across that has this. So I thought that was kind of fun. Little tidbit on her. And those are their eyes. They're not set yet. They need to be repositioned. I just popped them in after their last bake so I could send some photos to the interested parties. And like her one eye needs to be, that one needs to come down a tad bit. But I'll work on that because they have to come back out so I can seal them up. But first I have to do nails, finish their little details, and then mat them, and then root hair. So these are these two ladies. And then I also want to show y'all, I can't recall if I mentioned it or not, but y'all remember I had that little white crib that I had shared with you guys that was my mother's childhood toy, but then it was my bassinet, and then I used it. And I gave it back to my mom when I gave her the little Kimberly that I made for her. So I've been kind of trying to find another similar small crib. I don't want a full-size crib. I love these tiny little individual beds. I like that. That way I don't have a bunch of babies in the same. They're twins, so I'm okay with that. But I don't want like 4 or 5 babies in one place. So I've been keeping my eye out. Probably about 6 or 7 weeks ago, I was in our little resale shop, and they had a cute little wooden crib. But I'm a ponderer. I know when you leave something in a shop like that, you run the risk of going back and it being gone. But I'm like that. Most of the time I have to go home and ponder. And so I went back a few weeks later and it was still there. And so I did pick it up. It was a great price. And I didn't show it to you then because I knew I needed to outfit it in the vision I saw. And before I show it to you, I'll do a little backstory. One of the things I loved as a nanny traveling when we would go to Europe, mainly France, but Italy, I'm trying to think. In England, we didn't stay in a hotel. We always stayed in because the first time we went for a month was to find housing, permanent housing, and then that first month they rented a place. So I didn't stay in a hotel with a baby in England, but in France, all over France, whether we rented a house and requested a crib for the little boy I was taking care of because he was a baby and then toddler at the time, or if we went to a hotel. Also in Croatia, they did this in Croatia as well. The crib they set up for the baby is just in amazing linen. If you all have never felt French linen, oh, it is so divine. And the crib always had this beautiful, cushiony, like headpiece. It was a pillow, really, at the head, and then one at the foot, and beautiful bed linen. And then it would have a nice, beautiful, thick duvet. And then on top of the duvet was like a decorative, all in white, no color, all in white. And then there was like a decorative kind of lacy sheet that laid on top of the duvet. I did not do the duvet or the top piece because it's a narrow crib that I got, and I just wanted the visual of the other parts. So I had to find them and order them, and they took a while to get here. One of the pieces just came today because they're from France. So I will show you my little, I do have my Sophia Grace kit in there. So that's like the whole thing. So this is what I'm talking about, these headpieces. And this one says bébé, which is baby in French. I don't know if you guys can see that because it's embroidered in white. And then she's on a little pillow, and it was just beautiful. And then this is the piece that came today, the little foot one. But they don't tie up. They just rest there. But because my linen that's on the bed, I have to put this here, actually has butterflies on it. I don't want them covered with that piece. So there's my butterflies, and they're in like a silvery gray. But this is so beautiful. I love French linen. And then I made this blanket to match, and I don't know if you can see the butterflies that are crocheted into it. It's just simple gray and has butterflies in it, so that rests there to kind of hold that pillow back. Kind of defeats the purpose of having the pillow. But the placement of those 3 butterflies on that sheet, I can't bring them up any further. So I'm trying to determine if I want to maybe use that semicircular foot piece. I don't know. I like it how it is. I just have to maybe take some stuffing out or something because I like to see the butterflies too. But and then I went to our thrift store to see if they had a bumper, and it actually came 2 together. It had said bassinet bumper, which is what this is, and then it had a full-size crib one as well. So I've got that tucked away in the closet, you know, just for eyelet fabric if I need. But again, that just does the 3 sides, so that left the top open for that. And then I wanted a skirt, and I was so excited with myself. I found this on eBay. It was a bassinet skirt, and it said fits large bassinets, and it got here. But you know, in a bassinet, you have the part that goes under the mattress, but then you have those sides that go up. They're kind of quilty. So I thought, well, that's okay. I can fold it under because I bought a piece of foam to create the mattress. And I thought, well, that's okay. I can just tuck it under there. They'll give a little lift to the mattress, which I did. But what I did not take into account is the fact that these bars here, you see there's no, you see how they're attached. So there's no way for the fabric to come under the mattress. So what I did was the center part, the quilty part and the part that goes under the sheet, I cut off and I left about 1 inch. And then I sewed ribbons. I sewed a full-size ribbon in the centers, and then a half of the, I think it was 18 inches, and then I did 9 inches on each corner so I could join the pieces. So I created a 4-piece dust ruffle, and it fit. It was the exact amount of fabric. Because I did go to the fabric store to see if I could get eyelet that length, and I could only get it, the longest I think I found was 5.5 inches, and I believe this is 16 inches. And I could get eyelet fabric on a bolt, but then I would have had to sew, so I wouldn't have the, you know, the hem and everything, so I didn't want to do that. So, but this is my little crib all set up. I'm not sure who will reside in here finished at this point. Maybe this will be Atticus's spot when I get to him. We'll see. But for now, Sophia Grace is enjoying it. She's so sweet. Let me see if y'all can see the little pillow. I love the pillow. Oh, I don't want to take her head off, but that's the little pillow. So yeah, I always loved that when we would, book a house or a hotel or something in Europe. And it's so funny because the first time we did, I'm like, oh, this baby's going to be sleeping in the lap of luxury. But of course, then I crawled into my bed. I'm like, oh, so am I. Oh, French bed linen is amazing. So anyway, that's my new little crib. And I like it there because I want to also use it as a photo prop. And I think that almost looks like closed shutters. So if I position myself correctly, I can just photo in here. Because I love when you take a photo of a baby like through the slats. And then I like that, you guys are going to know it's a closet door. But I think for photo shoots it will look like shutters. We'll see. If not, then I can, because it's on wheels, I can roll it in and out to my photo shoot area. But I do love it there. And it's simple. When I need something out of the closet, it rolls very easily. So anyway, so that's that I wanted to share with you. So that's really all that's going on here. No big plans for 4th of July. My husband's actually working. Hopefully not the full day. His department is working. The company is down for the last week, but his department is still working, and he's the manager, so he does have to go in and check on things, but not a full day. He went in later today, which was nice, and he'll be doing the same tomorrow. But so we don't have any grand plans other than just relaxing. Today when he left, I did my normal, tidy the house, and I have laundry going, which you heard at the beginning of the video, and I have some cooking to do, but I think I might save that for tomorrow. I have to tell y'all, I got an Instant Pot. If y'all don't know what that is, look it up. It is amazing. I've only cooked 2 things in it so far, and I'm going to try another thing tonight, but so far, I am loving it. Because I'm somebody who likes to slow cook some things, and things can take, 6, 8, 10 hours, which is a lot of electricity. But my grandma used pressure cookers when I was growing up. If you don't know, the Instant Pot is an electric pressure cooker. And so I have really enjoyed what I've made in it so far. So I've been researching different recipes and saving the ones that look like we'll eat them. There's Ivy Jane on my chair. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that. And I made jam a couple weeks ago. This past week I made some butter. Y'all know, if you've been with my channel for a while, I love butter with salt, which is not the same as salted butter. Here in America, you get salted and unsalted butter, but in Europe, France, you can get butter with salt, which is salted butter that has coarse salt in it. So like when you put it on your fresh baguette and bite into it every now and then, you bite into this chunk of salt. Oh, I'm salivating talking about it. It's so amazing. But a friend of mine in Texas found it, and so I was able to purchase it in Texas, but I can't find it here. So I thought, well, let me see if I can make it. So I made homemade butter, and I made half of it salted butter, and the other half I added coarse sea salt to it. Oh! The angels sang, ladies. It was one of those moments of euphoria. So I'm happy about that. So I think I'm going to make some flavored butters, like some garlic butter and stuff. I love, the whole Susie Homemaker life. And I love for some reason in summer, I love doing all this, like making jams and all different kinds of things. So I've been up to that as well. And now I have my Instant Pot. And in the Instant Pot, you can make yogurt. So I'm going to try to make yogurt very soon. Right now I've been focusing on meats and vegetables and stuff, but I am going to eventually try to make my own yogurt. I've read a lot of people. It's been a flop for some people and a success for others, so I'm trying to understand the science behind it before I attempt to make it. And so that'll be a lot of fun because people were talking in one of the, there's an Instant Pot page on Facebook that I joined when I got mine. People were talking about how it's not really like Greek yogurt, it's more like French yogurt. And then somebody posted, apparently Yoplait is creating the French yogurt here in the States, and it's going to be called OUI, O-U-I, and it comes in little glass pots, and people were saying, you know, something about it being in glass pots, and that way they can charge more and all this. And so I got on there and I said, you know, as somebody who's traveled to France many times, when you go to a grocery store in France, like a proper big grocery store, like there are many aisles of yogurt. It's no joke. Yogurt is a huge thing over there. And, oops, I put my tripod away and hit the light switch. My favorite ones were the ones in the glass pots, and they weren't Yoplait brand, but they were in little glass pots, and it was fabulous. I had a toddler. I used those little glass pots as his drinking glasses for, you know, his meals and stuff, because I don't use sippy cups. I use glass that's open, but that's another story. So anyway, they're so delicious, and my favorite was fig. They don't have fig yogurt here. All you people in Europe that can get fig yogurt, you have no idea how blessed you are. I love fig yogurt. So I'm thinking if I can master making yogurt and find myself a shop here that sells proper figs, fresh figs, not, you know, dried ones, I can make my own fig yogurt. You guys have no idea the joy bubble this Instant Pot has brought me. So anyway, that's my exciting kitchen news. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so. I think I've covered everything. The raccoon and our little bird adventure, that was funny, ladies. I've only had a bird one other time in my apartment in Chicago when I was young, and the same thing, you know, by the time you catch it. And bless this little bird here, you know, she set it out in the front lawn, and it just sat there. And I knew it could fly because it had flown inside the house, and about 20 minutes later it did fly away. I think it was just in shock. You know, it had been captured under a towel and set out, but oh, I tell you what, it was like National Wildlife in my house that morning. It was really, I mean, you couldn't do anything but laugh. So anyway, but that's what's going on here. So hopefully I will be finishing up these two babies' details in the next couple days, and then I can start rooting. And these two should be finished hopefully in the next few weeks. It just depends on how long rooting takes. So we'll see. And I haven't rooted now, you know, probably for a good month and a half or two, and my thumb is almost completely healed. I still have a tiny little pain there, but I've been, you know, doing my essential oils and my paraffin, as well as, did I tell you all we got that electronic zapper thing? You have to like these pads that you put on. You can put it anywhere you have pain. That's really helped. And you know, I will tell y'all, turmeric is amazing. I've been taking tart cherry for over a year, and that really helped with my inflammation. But then I started taking liquid liposomal turmeric, and it has been amazing. And I take it with coconut oil because it does require a carrier, and they recommend either coconut oil or black pepper. And so I just put some coconut oil on a spoon with the turmeric and take it, and it has really, I can run up and down my stairs now. I mean, I was limping and barely able to use the stairs a couple months ago, and even in normal, that was because I hurt my knee, but even in normal, I could just like walk up the stairs normal, but I'm like finding myself running up and down the stairs. Oh, it's amazing. So I'll be taking that forever, I suppose. And what was the point of my telling you guys that? The turmeric. But I still take the tart cherry because it does help as well. I'm not really sure why I started down that path, ladies, but I did. Oh, that my hand was feeling better. And then I had Judy, y'all know, hey Judy, at Bloyer Babies, she was telling me about a rooting tool that she had purchased a couple years back at the doll show in North Carolina, and she sent me a photo, and she tried reaching out for me to the lady who sells them, who was going to be teaching a rooting class at the show, but it was just before the show. She didn't hear back from her. So I had asked if anybody was going to the doll show to let me know, and I found out that Sambonnet was going, and I hope I said your name right. Anyway, I reached out to her, because in her video she said she would be going. So I reached out to her and sent her the photo, and she was so kind and picked that rooting tool up for me. And so I have that in my arsenal now. So I'm hoping that, I mean, I love the rooting tool I have, but this particular one, you hold it more like you do a pencil. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping it goes well. If not, I'll use my other rooting tool, because I don't root with this hand. This is the hand I hold the hair with, and I think the pressure of holding all the hair and like doing that for hours and hours and hours on end is what strained that muscle. So I have to get better at that and take more breaks and whatever. But y'all know, if y'all root, you get into a zone where you're just like poking in a hair, poking in a hair, poking in a hair, and you just get lost in it. It's like this repetitious, methodical Zen place. And so I have to get better at taking breaks, everybody. We all have room for improvement in different areas of our lives, and that's one for me. So anyway, yeah, she needs a little pink on her feet there, I think. But anyway, so they still have a little more detail work to go. And yeah, they need a little pink on the bottom there. So I'll pink up their feet and do their nails and see what else needs improving. And then they'll be ready for hair. Oh, after they're sealed. All right, at this point, ladies, I'm just rambling. So that's what's going on here. And sweet Mickey girl wants to blow a kiss to her mommy and give her a wave. Oh, she is so sweet. Oh, aren't you, Mickey girl? And then Ivy Jane is super excited. She'll be going home. Hi, Mommy. She is dreaming of going home. And then sweet little Kai Man. Oh, he's a snuggly bug. All cozy in his little, back in his little cozy basket. He's a tummy sleeper. He enjoyed laying over there with Mickey, but he's happy to be back on his belly. Let me see if he'll blow a little kiss to his mama. Wants to snuggle with his little frog there. All right, everybody, have a blessed day, and stay safe if you're going out for the 4th of July. Don't do anything dangerous, ladies. Lots of weird things happen on 4th of July, so please be safe and be blessed and have an absolutely wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.